For decades, government programs operated in the shadows. Some were dismissed as rumors, others were laughed off as science fiction, but years later, they turned out to be true. This list isn't theory, it's fact. Project Blue Book. It started with a single question: what are people actually seeing in the skies? In 1952, the US Air Force launched a secret investigation into thousands of UFO sightings. Most were written off, but over 700 cases remained unexplained, and including crafts moving faster than any known jet. And when the project abruptly shut down in 1969, no answers were given, just silence. So what did they really find, and why bury it? Operation Northwoods. What if the US military planned to kill civilians just to start a war? Operation Northwoods was a documented proposal to fake terrorist attacks, plane crashes, bombings, and shootings, and blamed them on Cuba. It was signed by Pentagon officials in 1962. President Kennedy was the only one who said no. 1 year later, he was dead. Project MKUltra. One man jumped from a hotel window. The CIA called it a suicide, but years later, his family found out he'd been drugged by his own government. MKUltra was a real CIA mind control program. Civilians were dosed with LSD without consent. Some were tortured with hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and electroshock, just to see if minds could be broken or controlled. Most documents were destroyed. What little survived is enough to haunt history. HAARP, built in the icy woods of Alaska, surrounded by fences and silence. What's really going on inside HAARP? Officially, it's an ionospheric research center. Unofficially, it's been accused of controlling weather, disrupting satellites, and triggering earthquakes. And when reporters tried to dig deeper, access was denied. The government says it's harmless, but if it is, why so many secrets? Project Stargate. They trained soldiers to see without eyes. In the 1970s, the CIA funded studies into remote viewing, psychic spying. Test subjects were given coordinates and asked to describe what they saw halfway across the world, and they did. Some reports led to real-world military intelligence. One even described a secret Soviet submarine location. Eventually, the project was shut down, at least on paper. The Montauk Project. Men have come forward claiming they were experimented on that's as children. The Montauk Project, allegedly run out of a Long Island military base, is said to have involved time travel, mind control, and psychological torture. Some even claim the experiments ripped holes in reality itself. It's never been officially acknowledged, but the stories are consistent and disturbing. Operation Paperclip. What if the people who built America's rockets were war criminals? After World War II, over 1,600 Nazi scientists were brought to the US, including men who experimented on prisoners. Their records were wiped, their pasts erased. They helped build NASA military weapons and psychological warfare programs. Justice was traded for knowledge. Project Pluto. Imagine a missile that never stops flying. In the 1960s, the US built a nuclear-powered cruise missile capable of flying for months and dropping bombs along the way. It was so dangerous, even the military hesitated. Nicknamed the Flying Chernobyl, it was eventually shut down. At least that's what they say. Area 51. For years, the government denied it even existed. Now confirmed, Area 51 was a testing ground for experimental aircraft, but insiders, including former employees, claim it's more than that. Alien tech, crashed UFOs, reverse engineering programs. None of it's been proven, but the government's secrecy only fuels the fire. The Manhattan Project, 130,000 people worked on it. Most didn't know what they were building. It began in total secrecy, a race to develop the world's first atomic bomb. Towns were built just for the workers. Letters were censored. Surveillance was constant. The end result changed the world forever. But the secrecy, the moral compromises, and the raw destructive power, that legacy still echoes in classified labs today. These projects weren't fantasy. They happened. And some may still be happening. If this is what's been revealed, imagine what's still hidden.